Came out the bottom, I count a whole lot of young gonna worth millions of dollars. I asked out the charm, my little bitch a model. She made a few ends off for following. Yo, one on tour, a BP the child. Living a cool, I'm a title. Ain't no more worries, I'm up at it early. Young niggas tryna figure out the problem. For 30-30, I hear like Curry. They hear me, I don't even holler. These niggas so floppy. Niggas ain't gon' stop me. Switch out my cars and my addy, my family straight, and that's all that matter. Stacking them rest and then saving, put back for whatever, whenever it happens. I put my trust in my paper, when I'm walking through straight, I don't see no one else. No, it ain't long this route. Simmons and better missteps. Stay ready, I'm already prepped. Undefeated, I feel like the champ.
Yo, what's up, KO Universe Podcast, Sports Journeys. We're back again with our 6th episode. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about the transition from high school to college. Talk a little bit about that. But first, I want to take some time to shout out Fans Idea. Shout out to Fans Idea. They put together this custom varsity jacket for the brand. You see the wide receiver one right here. All right, that's what we take pride in. Got the logo on the side, two-tone. Shout out to my brother for helping me design this thing. He was the brains on the operation. Shout out to him. Lo-Fi Live podcast. Go check it out. Yeah, so shout out to Fans Idea again, man. They got some great stuff, all custom wear. A lot of sports, pretty much every sport. Hoodies, t-shirts, obviously varsity jackets, hats, pants, all that, man. They got some really dope stuff, exclusive stuff. You could check out their page. Shout out to them, man. This is dope, man. It's a fire varsity jacket. I also got the thing. Y'all might not be able to hear me real quick, but got the social handle on the back. Y'all will see more with the varsity jacket. Might have some more content coming out with that. But yeah, just wanted to take some time to do that, man. Also, thank you for everyone who's been coming back, tuning in, inviting others to listen to this thing, sharing this thing. I appreciate every share, man, every like. That's not what I do it for, but I do believe that my story will be beneficial for people out there, man. And so, and hopefully a blessing to you. So yeah, man, thank you to everyone, viewers, listeners, those who are listening, on other platforms, taking your time out to do that, every day, man. And the love shown, thank you guys so much. Yeah, so let's get to the story, man. We talked last about my time at Perry, how that ended. For those who may have missed that, I always encourage you to go back and just catch up, man. Just go start from the beginning and work your way up to this episode. It will make more sense when you do that. But if you're starting here today, thank you again. But yeah, we talked a little bit about my high school career and that transition and how hard that was for me with academics and not hold my weight on that and how that affected the next transition. So again, from the last episode, I lost those offers. Division I, had to start looking at D2. signed my letter of intent with Cal U. They were willing to give me a chance with the grades and everything I had going on. They were heavily recruiting me, but with recruiting, you could be the top recruit, man, and weeks later you could be the bottom recruit. you know, it's a competitive game from at every level, really. But the higher you go, it is very competitive. And so, again, I signed with Cal. I remember my visit that I took down there. I sat down with my receiver coach, who would be my receiver coach then, and the offensive coordinator. And, they looked at my film. Literally, I mean, I don't think we got past a minute of my film, and he shut it off. And he said, "Look, you're hands down Division I athlete." He's like, "Really, there's no need for us to like continue to watch anymore. It's, he's like, you have Division I talent. You're a full scholarship athlete, a Division I athlete. Everybody knows that. That's hands down." But he said, we can't give you a scholarship because even though you're a full scholarship caliber athlete, you would have to earn it and be considered a walk-on. So for those who don't know what a walk-on is typically, for whatever reason, you didn't receive a scholarship, but you're choosing to try out for the team. And if you make the team, usually there's a scholarship that you can earn, given some kind of stipulation. For me, then that stipulation was I would have to crack the first team lineup. And so as a freshman, which at Cal was very hard to do, similar to Perry, we were loaded, we were stacked. And at that time, Cal was a very prestigious Division II school, a winning culture, a winning tradition, and with just high level talent all across the board, man. And so, yeah, I wasn't able to receive the scholarship that, that I should have gotten, but didn't, because I was on academic probation. And so I came in on that. I came in as an associate school-wise. And so I wasn't enrolled as a full-time student. And so, excuse me, I wasn't enrolled as a full-time student. And so because of that, by rule, you can't receive a full scholarship, athletic scholarship. So it put me in a humbling position where I knew what I was. I knew what I could be. But it was like I took 10 steps back from where I wanted to go with it. And that was so humbling for me. That was the beginning of a very humbling journey from then on, really. And obviously we'll work our way through that story and what that looked like. But yeah, so I was a walk-on now, and I'm like, man, like, how did I get here? And you always hear about, this is what I love about my story is, you often hear about like the guys who get the scholarship, the ones who do it, the ones who have that experience of getting a scholarship, coming in, being a Division I, Division I guy, stepping on campus, now even with that has a ton of challenges as well. You know, definitely not knocking anyone who has done it. Like I got mad respect for those who have. Um, you know, we're just telling a different story, a different side of the coin. When it comes to this stuff, man, college. So, um, yeah, Cal U, man, that was it was an exciting time because it was my first collegiate experience. I was the first in my family to ever go to a 4-year university college. Um, I was also the first to uh, fast forward graduate and get my degree in college, and so I was first generation. And so this was a new experience. Didn't have people around me who could really walk me through and guide me through this type of scenario. Being a student athlete, you know, a college student first, and an athlete, a college athlete, and so you know, I tried to uh, stick with guys who had success. Um, you know, it goes back to the you know the episode of you know watching the company you keep, and you know a lot of guys say today like you know show me the crowd you surround yourself with, show me the people that you surround yourself with, and I can show you your future, right? And that has a lot of truth to it. I think you know for me it just stems from the word of God, you know, as far as watching the company you keep, and bad company corrupts good morals, good character. And so yeah, just tried to surround myself with the right guys that I possibly could, man, even as a freshman. And so um freshman year, because I want to get into that was more the transition from high school to college. Um, I uh, wanted to talk about the adversity that I faced early on. Um, you know, at Cal again, I said we were loaded, man. Like, and back then, during those years that I was there, uh, people would call us the D1 rejects, and I mean, we were definitely that because a lot of the guys like myself were recruited D1 prospects. Um, you know, whether you had 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, none of that really mattered to anybody. I think we all had some kind of story, and that's why they called us the D1 rejects, because you know we all were being recruited, or we were all at Division 1 schools, and for some reason we ended up at Cal U. Now I joke about this a lot with you know guys I played with at Cal. You know, we talk about it to this day. Um, uh, how serious it was, like you know when people called us that, like it was a real thing. And I talked to another former Vulcan that I played with. He was a senior, and love this dude, man. Avery. um Avery was there. He had transferred from Cincinnati, you know. So again, like these guys are coming from top level schools, top level talent, but we just got into some stuff, or you know, guys just had a story of why we ended up there. And a lot of cases, it it was our decisions. You know, it was our decisions that got us there. Um, uh, but you know, the you think about all that talent. We always talking about the Division I talent. Imagine if all those D1 players are on one team, and that's what Cal U was. And we considered ourselves a D1 team, even though, legitimately Division II. We had talks of the moving up Division I, the years that I was there. I don't think that ever happened. Not sure if it ever will at this point. Football wise, maybe some other sports, but yeah, man, we lived that, man, and it was those sad stories as to why we got there. We made the best of it, and it was Avery that kind of my story began to turn at Cal very quickly. And we had a one-on-one drill, and this was in camp as a freshman, right? And I go against Avery one-on-one. It was like a bubble drill. So for those who may not be football savvy, bubble drill, guys just real short catch and run, and you just got to make the first guy miss and try to get past him. You try to score, right? And so it's a drill within a drill, if that makes sense. So we run that drill. I catch the ball. I make him miss. I head upfield, and he catches me from behind, grabs my leg, and his heel goes right into his sternum, right? And so he's grabbing me from behind. He falls on the back of my heel and twists my ankle. So he got me from behind, and I couldn't get up. I felt just a ton of pressure and pain in my ankle, and I took pride in being a tough kid. I could fight through a lot of things. And so I tried to get up. The trainers came out. They're like, get up. I'm like, I can't. And so, they tried to walk me off. That didn't work. They brought the carts out, carting me off the field. Saw the team doctor, and turned out I had a ankle sprain in 3 different places in my ankle. So it was a combination of a high, low, and mid ankle sprain. And the team doctor, I remember him telling me, he's like, I've never seen this type of ankle injury before, so I don't know the time frame of recovery. And so I'm like, oh, great. Like, I just got here. I was doing well. But I really didn't get to showcase enough yet to really show who I was as a freshman. And, got the diagnosis. I was out, and I couldn't believe it, man. I'm like, I just got here, and this already, I wanted to really come in and really start as a freshman, and that was my goal. I also, I wanted to earn that scholarship, and so I wanted to crack that lineup, and so I was set on that, but this was in my way, and so I worked as hard as I possibly could. I did everything the trainers asked me to do, and more. And it was rough watching everyone do what you want to do, and you're on the sidelines, and you got to watch everybody do what you love. That's one of the worst feelings as an athlete, and as an athlete who loves to compete, or you just love the game, or you got goals and you want to reach them. It's you feel like you let other people down with injuries. And that's something that I dealt with. That's something athletes deal with. The mental part, will I come back? Will I come back healthy from this? A lot of that it's some people say luck, to come back from those injuries. I wouldn't say that. I would say coupled with work, putting in the work, and faith in the Lord and prayer, obviously, just faith in my healing. I knew I was coming back. It was just a matter of when. So fast forward, weeks go by. We were almost halfway through the season, almost. And I remember specifically a team meeting that we had. And we have this team meeting. Head coach said, "Hey man, I need to see these few players." My name was one of them. After the meeting, come see me. So I went to the head coach right after. He said, "Hey, I don't have time today." I was in the back of the line. And so by the time he got to me, he's like, "Why don't you stop up my office, come see me, and we'll talk a little bit more." So I said, "Okay, what's the best day?" And he said, "Yeah, just come by Monday. I should be there, usually in the office around this time." So I was there. Early, got there. His assistant in the office said, "Hey, he's not here today." She's like, try again tomorrow around the same time. Did that. Still wasn't there. She said, "I know you've been coming here, showing up. Like, try I'll say try one more time, And so I tried the same time the following day. So it was about a Wednesday. And, I went in the office, and as soon as I went in, the head coach was leaving the office, and I'm like, "Hey, coach, I've been stopping by trying to get a hold of you." He's like, "Yeah, I got a meeting I got to get to." And he said, "Just, just come into my office real quick, shut the door." So I go in, and he told me to shut the door. I didn't even sit down. I don't think he did either. He was on the run. So, he's like, "Listen, man, we don't have much time, so I'm gonna just get straight to it." He said, "Kevin, we're doing things differently with this program, and, and he just kept repeating that. Like, yeah, we're just doing things differently. We're handling things differently, with this program. We know you've been working hard. Our trainers tell us, like in college, you have to log your, the times that you come into the training room gets logged, so they can see, are you showing up for therapy every day, or are you skipping out?" Right. And so it showed that I was there every day, faithfully. I wasn't complaining, didn't give, the trainers any reason, to think otherwise. Right. So they're like, "You've been showing up every day. They have nothing but good things to say about you. We know you've been working your tail off." But he said, we recently had a meeting about you, and the meeting was literally about you. He said, "Me and the entire coaching staff." And I said, "Oh, wow." Like, okay. And, I'm standing there, 17-year-old, like, I'm in the head coach's office. I'm nervous. I don't know what he's about to tell me. And he said, he repeated what he said in the beginning. He said, like, you know, we're handling things differently now. We're doing some new things with this program. And I'm like, just tell me what's happening, right? And so he said, we had a meeting, and I'm not going to lie to you, Kevin. He said, none of your coaches want you here. And he said, we took a vote about your future as a coaching staff, and everyone voted for you to leave. Literally everyone, he said, including your position coach. So when he said that, I, again, as a 17-year-old with no one to guide me through this process and not sure how to handle these type of situations, let alone this one, I was in complete shock. I had no idea what I should do at that point. When you hear that not just none of the coaches want you here, right, on the entire staff, but the one that recruited me, all right, I'm not going to reveal his name. The one that recruited me didn't want me there. And the position coach who I practice, who I meet, who I see every day, does not want me here, right? And so obviously I started tearing up. I wanted to just break down. And he said, right before I was about to just I was about to just lose it. And he said, but Kevin, he said, I'm the head coach and I have the final say so. And I'm going to give you a second chance at this program. And I didn't understand at that time, like I said, as a 16, 17-year-old, like I didn't understand how is this a second chance when, you know, injuries are just unforeseen. Like, you know, I didn't plan to have an injury. You know, I want to play. And, you know, for me, that was still hard. You know, I still, you know, you're saying second chance, and I really didn't understand how that even made the situation better. But I did appreciate the fact that he stepped in and outvoted the vast majority. And so I, again, you know, I cried. I cried in the hall. I left his office. I just almost fell to the floor, just overwhelmed with emotion. But I quickly got myself together. I'm like, you know, talk to my mom. Maybe she could pray with me. And, you know, I did do that. Now, my mom, love my mom. She just did not know how to navigate sports. She didn't know. My dad really wasn't in the picture. Again, I mentioned last episode, things were taking a bit of a turn for the better. But our relationship really wasn't very healthy or in a place where I could feel that I could go to him about some of the things that I was going through. And so that was tough. That was tough for me. And so, you know, my mom did pray with me. She's more of a spiritual leader for me. Still is to this day. But, you know, what to do next? What to do next? That was the big question. And, the only thing I can think of, knowing me, and if you know me personally, you grew up with me, you know how determined I am, and you know how I remember I mentioned my counselor who helped me get into Cal, and what she put in the emails to the coaches was, Kevin is very tenacious. And I had never heard that word before she mentioned that. But she said Kevin is the most tenacious, determined individual she's ever seen. And so knowing, if you know me, you know that that's just who I am. And so it was really a no-brainer. I was hurt, but it was a no-brainer. It was like, oh, I'm going to show them that they're wrong. I'm going to show them that they're wrong. And so I had to come back to practice every day from then on, knowing that in the back of my mind that none of the coaches wanted me on the team and that they had all voted me out. And so you can imagine going through wide receiver drills and practice and all these things. Man, it was not a comfortable situation at all. But I leaned into it. I ended up that year not just coming back. I actually re-injured it again. I re-injured the ankle again because they forced me to come back sooner than planned. Now, there was no timetable, but I told them that, hey, I am not ready to go back on the field. They put me back out there and I re-injured it again. So they made that mistake. They owned up to it. They had the trainers come and talk to me and apologize. But eventually I did come back, and I did come back in with a vengeance. And I ended up, getting Scout Team Player of the Year. I broke the lifting records in the spring. The coaches were starting to talk to me, obviously, because, they're like, you're the talk of the team. You're the talk of the coaching staff. I had proved myself, and I proved not just to myself, but to them, that I belong. And I remember those conversations turned into like, you're going to be a starter. And so I ended up doing what I set out to do. I wanted to start as a freshman. I cracked the lineup. And I remember when I cracked the lineup, and I remember this week like it was yesterday. My receiver coach came to me. He's walking past, and I'm literally heading over with the starters. I was just on a scout team, killing them every week, right? Proving myself. And I go over, and my receiver coach stopped me as I'm walking past him. He's like, I don't know how you managed to be in the starting lineup, but oh well, I guess we're here now. I'm like, yeah, we are here now. And I'll never forget that. And so, after that, I could tell you right now, the adversity did not stop. It did not stop. But I was proud of how I handled that. And how I overcame, by the grace of God, I overcame that situation and came out victorious, ended up being a starter. I ended up playing in a lot of games as a freshman that next fall, because I had redshirted the first year. Did really well in the spring, proved myself. cracked the lineup as a freshman, as a true freshman. And actually didn't get the scholarship. They never gave me that scholarship that I was due. They had their reasons. You know, not having stuff in paper could definitely get you in some tough positions as well, which we can go on and on about that, but yeah, didn't get the scholarship, but I proved to myself and I proved to them that I could, and I did it. So those were some of the adverse things that I was going through. It was nerve-wracking because, again, I was the first to ever go to college and the first to ever be a collegiate athlete in my family. Thank God I did have a cousin at the time who was all conference receiver there at the time, and I really had him to lean on in those times. He was someone who worked his way up, didn't face the same things that I faced, but had some adversity, himself, and overcame that. And so, and did well for them. But yeah, I also, I want to talk a little bit about training too. Those off seasons while I was there, because I want to shout out Dwayne Brown, 2/10 speed and agility in Pittsburgh, PA. Dwayne Brown, we go all the way back to when he first started his speed and agility training, and I was there when it was just a few hurdles and a couple ladders and cones, and back the OG days with Dwayne. But shout out to him. He trained me, majority of my football career, and has been a big mentor and help. And I still try to be a part of his training. He's Aaron Donald's trainer. For those of you who may not know who he is, was born and raised in Pittsburgh, and we came up in the same hometown, and so Dwayne had really changed the game, stuck with the vision. There's not enough I could say about Dwayne. And I mean, I could shout out Vaughn Madden as well. Evolve, and everything he's done for the community, like the football community. These guys as people, being a mentor, and these guys are mentors. These guys have done some great legendary things. Both of them have been a huge part of like my early beginnings, and that cannot be denied. So I just want to shout out them. I trained with Dwayne. He got my 40 time down. For those who might be wondering, in high school I was a 4.4, 4.45, 4.46 naturally in high school. And I trained with Dwayne throughout high school. By the time college came around, I was at Cal. He literally helped me get my 40 time down to a 4.29. And so both of those guys timed it. I know we timed it 3 times in a row, man, because I first didn't believe it, but I had really dropped my 40 time down to one of the fastest times in 2 temps really. And so, you know, speed was one of my strengths. You know, and so shout out to Dwayne Brown, man, for everything he's done for me and everything he's done for so many athletes coming out of Western PA. And now kids from outside of Western PA as well. You know, and the things he's doing in the football community. So just want to shout him out, and just, you know, I wanted to touch base on training too. That's what I do. You know, for those who don't know, what I do, I train wide receivers, and I help develop wide receivers. And so we work on the skill, we work on the craft of the position, and we really help guys build that football IQ. You know, I'm more of a mentor guy, so I like to talk to my guys. I like to be what I needed throughout my football career for so many young athletes. I work with youth, high school, college, professional athletes, and I really enjoy what I get to do in the off season with these guys. It's so great to see the success of some of the guys that I've been working with for a long time. And, you know, I appreciate those guys who rock with me in the off season. Just had to throw that out there as well. But again, for those of you who don't know, yes, I am a trainer myself. And yeah, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time and don't know, so now you know. And that's really all I had today, guys. You know, I really wanted to talk about Cal U and kind of how that started. That turning point there at Cal, you know, again, to stay in line with adversity and how we overcome those adversity, and just let people know, like, you know, athletes, man, we're going through things. You know, even though we're playing the game we love, or we're playing the game that we're gifted at, there's just a lot of things that we go through in the locker room that may not get highlighted. And so, you know, these are just one of those things. You know, there's so many people who have, so many athletes who have great stories, man, that I think need to be heard, as well as my own. And so I thank you guys for tuning in once again, episode 6. Thank you guys for all your love and support. Continue to support the channel. Continue to subscribe, like, share, comment. Continue to blow this thing up, man. And really get this story into hands of, you know, young athletes, coaches, parents who want to hear a little bit more, want to learn a little bit more. And again, for those who just love a good story, a good underdog story, keep tuning in. I'm excited for this podcast. I'm excited for where it's headed. And yeah, thank you. I'm out.
Came out the bottom, I count a whole lot of young gonna worth millions of dollars. I asked out the charm, my little bitch is modest. She made a few ends off the follow. You wanna on tour, a beauty the child. Live in a cool title. Ain't no more worries, I'm up at it early. Your niggas tryna figure out the problem. But 30-30, I hear like Curry. They hear me, I don't even holler. These niggas songs flop. Niggas ain't gon' stop. Switch out my cars and my addy, my family straight, and that's all that matter. Stacking them rest and then saving, put back for whatever, whenever it happens. I put my trust in my paper, I'm walking through straight, I don't see no one else. No, it ain't long, it's rough. Simmons is better than steps. Stay ready, I'm already prepped. Bitch, love the hunters, we fucking get money, she turning my tongue to a chair. You did it, I done it, you know how it coming, you don't wanna show them what the world. Go pick up a bag in this big across the country and light up that smoke in the air. Bitch, so chill, I treat her like my twin when I shop and I buy by the pair.